All right, great to be playing football again. It was a great day coming back from spring break. We really taxed the guys today. You want to see what they were able to do over their time off. I thought our guys really pushed through, but we pushed them. Saw some physicality today. We finally got to wear pads, so you get to see who can really play football. Excited to watch the film and see where it goes from there, but we can open it up for questions.
What's your reaction to Carlos Lockman leaving and just the timing of it more than anything, Dan?
Yeah, it's football. It's the reality. Carlos did an unbelievable job for us. My goal is when we bring people here, we get to advance them to opportunities that make sense for them. I know how great Oregon is, right? And I know this. The reality is not really concerned about winning the press conference. He did a great job for us here. But when we hired him, he was a relatively unknown coach and did a really, really good job. The key for us is who do we replace him with? Right, and this is a great opportunity. Transitions give you an opportunity to get better, right? So that's our goal. We're going to go get better. We're going to bring somebody in here who can do a really good job with our organization. We got a lot of young coaches right now in our organization that do an unbelievable job. So moving on, right? Excited for the next move.
What's the urgency for you guys going forward?
The urgency is get it right. Yeah, the urgency is get it right. You're not in a hurry to do anything wrong. Now, we always have a plan. We know, people that we would target for the position, but again, it's about getting it right. It's not about being fast.
Is Antonio going to handle that in the interim?
We'll have a couple coaches that are handling that in the interim. Jack's working with those guys. Koa, several of our coaches can be able to help us in that regard.
What are the things you're looking for to get it right in that hire?
It's the same thing we've looked for every coach. When we had coaches leave our program before, I think about the guys that we've been able to bring in and the job they've done. Coach Hampton's a guy that came and joined our program, did an unbelievable job. Coach Terry, right? And we'll continue to do that and develop and grow within, right? And look for the things that I'm looking for. What's important? Relationships, guys that connect with players, guys that can develop the position, guys that can recruit and retain talent, on our team. And more importantly than anything, people that fit, right? It's about the fit.
Is it important to get this filled this month so they can be here for summer spring, or is that just second?
Again, the timing is interesting, but the reality is we're well-oiled machine right now. It's moving. We've got guys that are really do a good job in that room. So it's about getting it right. It's not about sprinting to a date. We don't have to have somebody tomorrow. It's about getting the right person.
Does this make you think about revisiting the buyout dates just to instead of April 1, May 1, Dan, and that kind of like the portal for players, like maybe post-spring would be, if someone's going to leave, make the buyout more prohibitive in April?
Yeah, I'm not really concerned with that. At the end of the day, here's what I want. I want people that want to be here and grow here at Oregon, right? We got an unbelievable situation. How long have backs been good at Oregon? You guys think of the names of the guys that have played here at Oregon, right? Whether it's DeAnthony or LaMichael or Jonathan Stewart. There's been a long history. We got some really good backs on this team right now. So I'm worried about who wants to be here and what we're going to be able to do moving forward.
Dan, speaking of people who want to be here, what did it mean when Terrence announced he was coming back, and what does he bring to the offense this year?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Terrence Ferguson has busted his absolute tail to put him in great position to be a great player for this program. And he's one of many who made the decision to come back and get better, but he's the guy that's putting in the work to do it too. He's lowered his body fat percentage. He's increased his muscle mass. He's a leader on the field, the way he runs in and out of drills. It's been really, really impressive.
Speaking along those lines, Jeff was another one that could have easily left and he stayed. What was that process like, and what's it mean for your defense to have him back?
I think a lot of these guys saw guys last year that had similar decisions, right? And the success that led to for them, and Jeff's done an unbelievable job of being a leader. He knows what he wants his play to look like, what he wants it to be in the future. And he knows that hard work is what's required to get there, and he's willing to work hard. So, when you look at examples of guys like Bo and guys in the past that they've come back for another year to have a lot of success, I think that's what those guys want to hope to recreate.
Now that you can acknowledge Evan Stewart and Jabbar Muhammad, just what attracted you to adding those guys, and what do you hope to see from them here in this spring to get acclimated?
Yeah, great talent, from both of those guys, eager to learn. They play fast. They play with a lot of confidence. I think this is early for them, so it's flying around like crazy right now, but I saw some real positives from them in the way they finished some stuff today. Excited to see what they do on the field for us moving forward.
We saw a couple additions to the roster today. There's still a few people that we think might join before the season starts. Do you expect more people in spring, or do you have to wait for summer?
Yeah, the majority, if anybody's not here right now, they'll be joining us in the summer.
Are Rod Pleasant or Bryce Betcher just going to be track and baseball only here? Or?
Well, they're doing a combination of it. Just depends on schedule time. So when schedule allows, they're with us, and when they're not, they're not.
Seems like a lot of guys took spring break to kind of continue their training. Did you see that kind of pay off in practice today? And what does that mean to you as a head coach to have guys that take their break time to continue to improve and get better?
Well, I think people that want to be great at what they do understand that there aren't really a lot of breaks, right? Now, how you use your time is really important. I thought some of our guys used their time really, really well. We'll go watch the film here and see who did a good job of that.
Thursday and Saturday, what are the things you want to see on Thursday, and then what is it progressing to on Saturday for you?
Just 1% better, right? Just want to see us, continue to grow. It's not really about the plays right now. It's about figuring out who can play football, right? So if it means we, throttle back a little bit on install, right, and focus more on who can play ball, that's what I want to see. I want to see that energy and enthusiasm and improvement.
How has maybe Dylan Gabriel's leadership and some of those skill sets come into play here? And I know it's early, but just early returns on what you've seen from him, maybe away from the field too.
Yeah, I just think more than anything, the way that we prepare has given Dylan an opportunity to really, absorb a lot of this really quick with the walkthroughs that we've had, the time leading up to spring, us doing spring a little bit later than some teams. I think that's allowed him to really get ahead of the curve before he stepped out here. And then his experience, speaks for itself, his poise, his ability to get guys to come do extra work with him, his ability to get extra work in, I think is really paying off.
He's done those time retreats before, and I'm sure he's got some scheduled here. But as a coach, what does that mean to you? I mean, everybody puts pressure on quarterback of expectations, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to handle things, extra time. What does it mean to you that that's something that he does and he's going to be looking to do here?
Yep, he gets it, right? Our guys get it. Dylan's a guy that gets it. We talk about connections, one of the DNA traits in this program, and that requires time away from ball together. So I think he knows that that's really important for him to be in sync with the guys he's playing with, and that's, will pay off in the future.
In an offseason, when you lose guys like Bo and Bucky and Troy and Jackson, how important is it to have someone like Terrence Ferguson, especially when you've got new quarterbacks coming in to kind of have that leadership mentality?
Yeah, I think, Terrence is a great example of having a guy around, but that's called building, within your program. You're always going to have transition, every single year in college football. There's guys that are going to be leaving. So it's about what are you building underneath it, and he's a great example of a guy that's earned the opportunity to be a leader on this team. He's working his tail really hard, working it off to be really elite for us, and we'll continue to grow that throughout the team.
Evan Stewart, a guy that a lot of programs obviously wanted, but what in particular about his skill set makes him a good fit for you guys?
Yeah, I think speed, catch radius. I think there's a lot of things that pop off with Evan. I think he saw a lot of opportunity here with what we've done with our wideouts here in the past over the last 2 years. But, he has the skill set to be a really, really talented player. We had some coaches that were really familiar with him before as well. That certainly paid off.
There were about a dozen guys that redshirted last season. Where have they progressed from spring ball when they got here last year, or maybe it was summertime to now?
It's still early. I mean, we're 3 practices in, and the way we practice, that's what us going up and watching this film right now will tell us. I think guys have done a really good job growing in this program. We're certainly moving forward, not backward. So some of those guys have done a really good job of growing. I still got a lot of practices to see where they're at.
And spring's all about growth and development, Dan. How specifically important is it for like the second and third offensive line groups? Because you return so many starters and you're probably in line to lose 4 guys after the season due to graduation and where guys are at. So just the importance of, for a year from now, when you're going to be replacing guys, for the recruiting cycle, for development for that group in particular.
Yeah, I think development at every position is really important, not necessarily that position. I'm certainly not thinking 2 years ahead right now. I'm thinking about this next season, but developing every position really matters for us.